Welcome to the Irish Craft Beer Show. I'm Brian Condren, and welcome to my kitchen, John, the Cedar Rapid Beer Nut Duffy.
Thank you very much, Brian, I think.
Recently, I just paid a visit to Minneapolis in Minnesota for Homebrew Con, where I saw your American cousins, the Cedar Rapids Beer Nuts.
Yeah, that's great. That's twice in 20 seconds. Get it out of your system, Brian.
Anyway, we've come home. I packed my suitcase full of local beers. Let's sample.
Yeah, do it.
That's it. Okay, first up we have from Summit Brewing in St. Paul, Minnesota, we have Spring Saison, which is part of their Unchained series.
So Summit are one of the more established
So Summit, yeah, they're in St. Paul, and they've been one of the bigger breweries there. They've been
1986?
they're 30 something years. I enjoyed a 30th anniversary beer from there, which is a Keller Pils. It was very tasty.
Cool. So they seem to do the German styles more than anything else.
The German and English styles, I seem to.
Okay.
Although we're allowed to be informed they're head brewers from Kildare. So.
No, right on. So this is 4.7%. It's very clear. Normally you would expect a Saison to have a bit of haze to it, but I guess when you're a big established brewer, you do your Saisons clear. There's a lovely fruity aroma. There's a lovely kind of pineapple and peach, mango.
Yes.
A little bit of sort of sharper white pepper. It seems to be classic Saison.
Cheers. That's nice and clean.
Yeah, it's nice. It's a little bit boring. There's no pop to it. And I guess maybe that's related to the lack of haze, but there's no real sort of Saison crisp character. It's lovely sort of fruit, but you could pass it off as a pale ale or a Märzen or some sort of strong lager.
Yeah, I was thinking it was like the Belgian IPA style that was popular a few years ago.
Yeah, I mean it has a Belgian character, but it's not Belgian.
Belgian.
Hope this is helpful. But there's kind of a candy, sort of almost a bubblegummy, chew sweet kind of thing. Very decent, very clean, very drinkable, very refreshing, which is the main thing you want to say something to be.
One of those things where the styles prepares you for one thing, and even though it's a good beer, we're now comparing it to the styles rather than.
Yeah, I suppose that's not really fair. I mean, if that was cheap and available, I'd be very happy to drink that. Particularly during the summer, I guess it's a spring Saison, so it's a seasonal beer. It's meant for the warmer, brighter days. So perfectly good and not too strong.
Yeah, I think that was typical though of all the Summit beers I had while I was over there. None of them were way too wacky or out there. All of them were, good solid beers.
So there's kind of the O'Haras of Minnesota.
The O'Haras of Minnesota, yes. So there was nothing. I didn't have a bad beer amongst any of them. I tried a lot of their beers.
So, beer number 2 is, we're sticking with Summit, and this is their Xtra Pale Ale, their IPA. There's not much information on this. It's 5.2%, the internet tells us. What an Xtra Pale Ale is, we have no idea. The initials EPA, they have an echo of ESB. There's a certain Englishness about it. I don't know what they're at. It's a lovely golden colour. They have no problem with head retention, for sure.
A little bit of sulphur.
It's funky smelling. Whether that's a hop thing or a water thing. There is a bit of sort of Englishness, a bit of burnt snatch. It's heavy.
Yeah.
I almost taste brown.
The chewy. It's very carbonated though, which.
Yeah. There's a very strong bitterness, and I guess that's where the extra bit comes in.
Yeah.
It's almost kind of a harsh acidity. A lot of kind of green asparagus and cabbage water and that kind of thing. Reminds me maybe a little bit of Porterhouse Hophead. It's that kind of resinous.
I have that, but I can't say I'm a fan. Actually.
No, I'm starting to get like brown sugar.
Yeah.
Almost kind of a burnt, heavy malt thing.
Yeah.
It's not refreshing.
No.
I would have expected.
And this is one of their main range, so it's
right,
main range.
wow.
The last one was just a special, but this is.
Yeah, I've certainly tasted beers like it. I've tasted Polish IPAs that have that very bitter and also very sweet, just kind of clashing against each other. I think it's a very old-fashioned, very 90s way of making pale ale. No, not for me.
That's a shame.
There we go. You're welcome to Minnesota.
Next up we have Golden IPA from Bent Paddle Brewing Company, and they're in Duluth, Minnesota, which I think is a few hours north of Minneapolis, up by Lake Superior.
And it was awkward trying to pick a drinking order for these, whether to put the Xtra Pale Ale in front of the Golden IPA or behind, so I put this behind. I'm not sure if that was a good idea. It's a bit stronger at 6.2%, still not a madman.
Much better aroma.
Oh, that's lovely, yeah.
It's gorgeous.
It's a lovely kind of, definitely a fresh hop thing. It's probably Citra or one of those very kind of sharp citric hops.
Citra, Simcoe, maybe Summit.
Lovely head as well, lovely sort of fine, fluffy, off-white head. Quite a dark gold colour.
It is, yeah.
With a little bit of a haze in that as well. All around very classy looking.
Yes, and tasting well.
The dankness. There's a certain plasticky noble hop kind of German character as well. I don't know if that's in the flavour. Yeah, quite sweet as well.
Yeah.
There's a lot of malt character to it, but it has that very bright, vibrant, spicy citric bitterness thing, which is exactly what you go to an American IPA, golden or otherwise, for.
6.2, is that session strength in America?
It probably is, yeah. I mean, when you see golden IPA, which is quite unusual as a style designation, you expect something that's going to be lighter and sort of more anodyne, but that's definitely got a good punch to it.
It does,
which is kind of nice. And there's a long, very bitter finish on that, which is invigorating, very pleasant.
So the whole thing, from the aroma straight up as soon as you open the can, right through to the finish of it, it's everything. It works well together. I think it's a
yeah. I also think though it's one of those beers that, I don't know how old this is, there's no canning date on it, but I would say this has to be consumed very fresh.
Yes.
So that sweet malt is going to completely take over once the hops start to fade. So there's probably no point in importing this if anyone's interested in doing that, but it would be very easy to clone, I would imagine. Yeah, it's just a question of adding hops to mold.
And if any airline out there wants to do a direct flight to Minnesota, I'd appreciate it.
Yeah. No, absolutely solid, classic. Very nicely done there.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Ben.
Fair play, Ben Pat.
Well, I don't know about you, Brian, but I'm kind of bored of normal amounts of Citra. So what we have here is Surly's Xtra Citra Pale Ale, and the blurb on the back I think is worth reading verbatim, which says, "You'd think hops in the bright sunshine would make us happy, but you'd be wrong. It just makes us extra surly. This bright coloured session ale explodes with Citra hop flavour and aroma in a deliciously drinkable brew. Put your shades on and enjoy an extraordinary bright beer experience." Okay, enough with the X's, we promise. Thanks, Dad.
I'm just thinking of Extravision now. I want to make a video.
See even the colours. So it's 4.5% ABV, so it's the lightest beer we've had. It poured really watery and has zero head retention. I have just washed these glasses by hand, so that's not a dishwasher thing.
It's very, very weak looking.
Smells nice.
Nice smell, yeah.
There's a burn there. There's an acidic, proper, serious, eye-watering hop burn.
I'm kind of tasting a bit jelly sweets though.
Yep, definitely that concentrated. Sort of
artificial
E-number flavour, is the taste of all of our childhoods.
Yes. Yeah, there's hops there.
There's hops there, but it's unbalanced.
When
you compare it to the Ben Paddle one, that had just a malt heft that balanced the same amount of hops. This is just kind of harsh, kind of burning. It is easy to drink for all that, but that's just because the texture is so watery.
It is, yeah. It is showing off the hop all right, but there's not really much else there. So Surly, they're from Minneapolis. They seem to be the biggest, the most popular brewery in Minneapolis.
I've heard of them, which is more than I can say for the other two.
I know one of the beers up there I really enjoyed when I was over there was one called Todd the Axeman, which was their IPA, and that was very good. And I know we've got another Surly coming up, but I don't think that would be typical of their normal styles. Whereas this, from what I had of Surly, they did a lot of the pale ales and IPAs.
Yeah.
And I didn't really see much more from them, but this is not one of the better ones.
I'd be interested to see what sort of reaction this gets, because you can see the sort of hophead bros liking it because it's all awesome Citra.
Yeah.
But it's also really watery and weak, and 4.5%. You can't have good beer at 4.5%. Good beer starts at 6.5, as everyone knows. So I'm kind of curious about this and who buys it and what's it for. Does this come in sixes?
This comes in sixes.
Yeah, that'd be hard work to get through 6 of these.
I'm trying to think of like local styles compared to. I'm thinking of table beers that we've had, like Via Mars from Galway Bay.
Via Mars, yeah, would it be, but even Via Mars has.
Via Mars is slightly more backbone than this does.
At a whole percentage point lower.
Yeah.
There's a bit of
Dead Pony Club.
Dead Pony Club, or have you ever had Dark Star Hophead?
I haven't had that.
Lovely beer, 3.8 I think, but just because it's very much cask beer, it just has that extra sort of biscuity heft that this really could benefit from.
Okay, now we're going a little bit darker for the next one. This is another one of the Summit Unchained series, like the Saison earlier.
What is the Unchained series, Grant?
I think it's a limited run, like where they have all the particular brewers' names on the front. None of them being the Irish guys, so we don't really care about them. This is Dark Infusion, which is a coffee milk stout, which apparently is 8.5%. So
yeah, big can, big beer. Milk stout you would not expect to be 8.5%.
No.
It's slightly interesting if you're a very, very boring person that they didn't call it an imperial stout.
Anyway, so it poured alright. The head is already dissipating because it poured I took quite a thick head when I poured it, but it's dissipating quickly.
There's a proper dense blackness to it.
Yeah.
It's like an onyx. It's very, very reflective.
It smells like prunes.
I could smell it before I picked it up. There's definitely is it coffee? Yeah, there is coffee, yeah.
There's coffee there, but I'm just getting prunes overall.
Prunes? No, I'm starting to get roast, starting to get a dryness.
Yeah. Oh, I like it.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good beer.
It's immediately winter. It's just that warming, thick, and it's not hot.
No.
It's so smooth. It's so creamy. Very well balanced. The coffee is there, but it's the brighter part of coffee. It's that kind of oily coffiness, like when you walk into a coffee shop. That kind of fresh.
It's like opening the. The coffee, the ground coffee.
It has none of the roast or the harshness or the bitterness of it.
No green chilies.
Green chilies. I'm not getting the milk element. It doesn't really have that sweetness, but that's because it's
just hidden there. It's just But okay, I'm going to give the brewer his props. Pete Stacey, nice one.
Yeah, well done, Pete.
This is a good beer.
And it, while being, what amazes me more than anything else is that while it's 8.5%, while it's very much one of those dark wintry beers, there's no alcohol heat. Maybe that's why they didn't call it an imperial stout, because it doesn't have that stomach burning kind of alcohol thing, which is absolutely in its favour. No, I really like that.
Yeah. That is the best we've had so far today.
it's one to put in big cans. Well done, guys.
Definitely.
Not one to share.
And next up is another one of those candle waxed covered bottles.
Hate those things.
What is the point? It's
annoying. And as soon as you put a bottle opener anywhere near that, that's going to disintegrate and shatter all over the counter, and you're doing
yeah, but not that we're prejudice against what's in the bottle.
What's the beer, Brian?
The beer is Whalezbrah, another one from Surly Brewing, but this isn't one of their regular beers. This is one that was brewed just for the attendees of HomebrewCon 2017 in Minneapolis, Minnesota, June 15th to 17th.
And Whalezbrah is a Norwegian style, I believe.
Possibly.
Got whales in it.
I don't know what it doesn't have a style. Everywhere we've looked is given it a different style. It's got stuff in it. It's
okay. That's promising.
As you can see, I've brought the laptop out because I have to read the commercial description. So this beer, the wort was originally made as part of the American Homebrewers Association (AHA), their wort rally, where local craft brewers brewed a load of wort, and homebrewers showed up with a corny keg. They got their 19 litres or whatever that is in American units and went away and did something with it. And Surly brewed that for the homebrewers in the Minneapolis, St. Paul area, and they also made their own version. So same wort, they went off and did something else with it. And then at HomebrewCon, people were bringing versions that they brewed themselves and comparing it against this one that Surly brewed. So interesting enough concept. So the commercial description. So Surly's task in welcoming homebrewers to our upper Midwest turf then was to make a true whale for people who would appreciate it the most. Hence Whalezbrah, a beer made exclusively for the 2017 HomebrewCon attendees. In February 2017, we made an impossible to replicate oaked pale wheat wort for the American Homebrewers Association Wort Rally hosted at our Minneapolis, St. Paul facility. Do not ask us how we did this. I actually was talking to one of the brewers and I asked him how he did it, but he didn't tell me. Feel free to speculate. Get out a whiteboard and make a T-chart for all we care, but it's a secret. We took the same wort 500 plus homebrewers brought home from the rally and brewed it, aged it in virgin oak with Brettanomyces, and the result is Whalezbrah. It's tart, a little funky from the barrel-aged wheaty, and has a unique oak character that will please beer nerds and noobs alike. So we have one beer nerd and this was the noob.
You're the noob. This could go anywhere. So barrel-aged, oaked.
It's aged in virgin oak with Brettanomyces.
So barrel-aged and Brett.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's tart and a little funky from barrel aging wheaty.
Tart and funky
and wheaty
and I'm worried, to be honest.
Yes.
I don't think this is going to be any good.
And from the talking, apparently they blended a sour beer with the wort.
Right.
Yeah. There's lots of things going on here. We'll see.
Alright.
Yeah.
It hasn't exploded. It's like diffusing a bomb, trying to keep the wax in one piece. Okay. There we go.
Right. So can I pull this wax off handy enough?
Yeah, work away.
Not handy enough.
They should have called it Squidsbrow.
Yeah, okay, let's just pour.
It's surprisingly pale. I was expecting it to be darker. I don't know why. That looks well. That is clear. It's kind of a pale coppery golden colour. There's a crackling head.
Smells of bread.
It smells of aftershave. It's not unattractive, but yeah, there's kind of a muskiness rather than a funkiness. It's kind of a sweet.
There's a sweet, the aroma, sweetness there.
Okay, I get the wood. I guess it's the wood and the sweet and the funk that's giving it that aftershave smell. How strong is this?
I don't know. It is 7.5%.
Okay, that's reasonable.
Add that to my notes.
Yeah, that's nice.
It's okay.
It's quite. I was expecting to be all over the place, but it's actually very well integrated. There's a single beer flavour there that's kind of. It's kind of a tangerine, orangey fruit thing, and then there's that perfumery aftershavey sort of Brett musky funk thing. The wood, like nothing is overdone. The wood isn't overdone. The bread isn't overdone.
Yeah.
And neither is the hops. It's surprisingly clean for a
funky
clean, Brett beer. That kind of works.
I'm not sure I agree.
Okay, fair enough. Take it away. Give him hell.
See, to me, I'm just tasting bread.
I know that's not a flavour, that's a yeast type, but it's,
Yeah.
you know, it's the one constant thing you get in all Brettanomyces is kind of I still call it an off flavour, and as you can tell, I'm not a fan of Brett beers, but it's overwhelming everything for me.
Do you get the orange pith?
I do not. I get the oak. I get that bit there.
Yeah. But there's a lighter, fruity, zesty thing going on there.
Okay, that's right.
Search your feelings. You
Yes.
know it to be true.
If I believe in it, then I could see it.
Yeah, I like that. And there's kind of a spice. The finish, kind of a sandalwood.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I'm Venice, but there's kind of a Maybach kind of character. I think it was a Weizenbock someone had described this as.
Right.
And I definitely get that sort of spring German strong lager element, plus the bread, plus the oak, but it's a clean, sort of pithy, strong lager at its base, and I think all of the bells and whistles don't really spoil that for me anyway.
Yeah. I'm getting stuff you're describing and I'm just not enjoying drinking it.
So you've had this before.
I've had this before.
Did you like it more or less when you had it in the States?
I didn't like it then. So.
Okay, fair enough.
I didn't finish. I had this size of a glass and I didn't finish.
Yeah, and more importantly, was that free?
Yes. Well, it was technically it was included in your registration for HomebrewCon, but because I didn't pay for my registration for HomebrewCon, it was free.
Yeah, Lean beer tastes better. Lovely.
So this was everyone who, after you registered, you went into a room where they gave you all your goodies, and this was one of the first things they gave you. So
I think as a dessert beer, I think that would work quite well. It sort of, or even as an aperitif, it kind of fits into that. And again, it's the orangey thing, that kind of Campari or Aperol kind of thing. It's that very bitter orangey, but clean and sharp and I'm well into this.
right, you're just as you've been describing it, I've been forcing myself. I think yes, I can taste the orange pit. It's there. I agree. Yes, it is there.
I'm available for consultancy work.
I am not saying it makes it any more enjoyable for me. I'm just like, yes, okay, it is there.
It could have been a lot worse. I think that's probably what it is for me. It's relief.
Yes.
I was genuinely expecting it to be a concoction of awful, and it's really not. I actually would genuinely love to try what the other homebrewers did with it, because I bet you some of them are fucking incredible.
Well, it is very rare, as they keep trying to remind us on the Surly website. So
hence the name.
Hence the name. So we've tried it. There's not even enough ratings on Rate Beer to give it a rating. So
yeah, well, I gotta say,
even though I didn't enjoy it, I'm smug that I got to taste it.
I gotta say, just having a go at the Wheels crowd is worth the price of admission alone. I think more brewers should do that.
Yes.
If you're going to create a deliberately rare beer for a special event, give 2 fingers to the whale hunters, because they're spoiling it for the rest of us.
And finally, I think unfortunately we're all out of beer.
No.
But that doesn't mean we're all out. That doesn't mean we're all out of drink, because as I did notice in Minneapolis, St. Paul, they're big fans of mead. Mead, apparently, yes. So.
That must be the Vikings thing. Oh,
yes, it's a nice Viking helmet on this.
Yeah, true to their Viking roots, but not true enough to know that the Vikings didn't have horns in their helmets.
Yeah, the Minnesota Vikings actually don't have horns in their helmets either.
It's a football thing.
They also don't have horns in their helmets, but I think that would be illegal in American football. But anyway. But yes, this is another one of the drinks that was given out to all attendees of HomebrewCon. This is the Beginnings, which is a raspberry mead, I believe.
Raspberry mead?
No. Blackberry, raspberry and blackcurrant mead.
Okay.
Made with orange blossom honey. So let's give it a try.
So they must have lots of beekeepers then in the
It seems like it's a big deal, but I was just amazed by the amount of different brew clubs that served mead.
Mm-hmm.
Nearby. And
how strong is this one?
Oh God, I haven't checked that yet. Maybe we'll wait till we drink it first.
Because it's a big thing in certain areas, 12%.
Yeah.
In Eastern Europe, kind of the 6.5% session mead seems to be a thing, and you get it on draft in the pubs and stuff.
It smells like wine.
It smells like marker pens.
Mm.
I'm not a fan of this now. There's a very artificial perfume. It's like sticking your head into a Turkish delight.
A Cadbury's Turkish delight now, not one you get from your holidays.
Just anyway, once your head's inside, it doesn't matter your exit. There's a smell of headaches. It's that high alcohol thing.
I don't have much expectations for this, but we'll see.
Oh, it's very sweet.
Yeah, it's not one of the meats I like.
It tastes of honey. It tastes of concentrated honey. And then the fruit is just kind of it's like someone sprayed perfume on concentrated honey mead. It's not good.
No. Okay, well, I don't think we should dwell on this. I think we should just wrap it up anyway. So I still have good beer left. I'm going to get back to this. Listen, thanks very much for coming over, John. I hope you've enjoyed a few things. And I have to give very special shout out to Elsa and Chip Walton, who realised on Saturday evening after HomebrewCon, and I was flying back the next day on Sunday, that there's no beer shops open in Minnesota on Sunday, so they made a special run to one of their local bottle shops to pick up a few bits and pieces for me to bring home. Very much appreciated, and I enjoyed myself today with a few good beers. We had a mead.
I still have a load of this one left, which Brian's not going to drink.
So, cheers, John. Did I record that?